AEW fans, welcome to Fabulous Wrestling Talk. We are here to talk all about Full Gear, which did happen a minute ago, but I actually like the fact we were able to see this whole week of AEW programming because it filled in some of the gaps. And of course, I'm joined by my tag team partner Clay Harden. How are you, bud?
I am tired, beat down, and worn out, but I will push through.
Yeah, you probably feel like you probably feel like you went about 15 minutes with Bobby Lashley.
Probably not quite that rough, but I did make it to John Moxley's hometown for a football game. We have some semblance of a football team left there. We're not very good right now, but it was fun.
That was a fun game.
It was, if you like turnovers and pick sixes and no defense.
I mean, it reminded me of a few we've seen in West Georgia on Friday night, so it was fun.
Sure, it was 30-mile-an-hour winds and 25-degree air temperature. It was fairly chilly.
Yeah, that's I'm glad I was in a slightly warmer place watching that.
Well, I mean, once the sun was hitting us right in the face, so it wasn't as bad as it seemed. Like I just had on a long sleeve shirt and a hoodie over it, and I was fine.
Yeah, but see, I'm a delicate flower, and sometimes I get a little cold.
Not me. I'd rather be cold than hot. I'll
I
take 20. I'll take 20 over 100 any day.
Oh, I agree there. Absolutely agree there. I don't like to melt. But speaking of things that almost melted, Full Gear was actually a pretty solid show all the way around. We're going to kind of breeze through the pre matches, the pre show a little bit. Just a couple points to make on those. Anna Jay gets the win over Deonna Purrazzo with Taya out there. The only thing I don't like about it is they used Purrazzo to put over Anna Jay because I feel like Anna Jay in 6 8 months could be a title contender and Purrazzo could be one in 6 minutes.
Yeah, but did either one of them really need putting over?
Yeah, because they get forgotten and stuck on Rampage all the time.
Yeah, well, Anna Jay, they'll call her up, put her in high in
Yeah,
premier matches for a couple weeks, and then she's right back to the dark tapings, and you never hear anything out of her.
right. That being said, Anna Jay, open invite to be on this show anytime because she's local,
Yeah, she is from Brunswick.
Brunswick. Yep. But at least she got a clean win. It seems like she's on a decent run again right now. So, good for her. A match that I hate that I missed because this seemed like a really fun match. Buddy Matthews gets the win over Dante Martin, Commander, and the Beast Mortos in a four-way match that was probably just complete lucha chaos.
The craziest thing about that match is I don't know how Mortos wrestles and all that heavy headgear with the horns
Yeah,
and don't hurt somebody because it looks kind of bulky.
yeah. But Buddy Matthews getting a straight up victory in something like that when normally he's just the extra guy. It's a good nod to him.
Yeah, I think they ought to give him a big push because that Joker can get it.
Let the other two do the tag stuff that they've been doing, and I would push him into, him and Takeshita be pretty good.
Him and just about anybody. Him and Ricochet would be a good match. Him and Hangman would be a good match. Him and Jay White would be a good match. Just you put him with anybody, he can work.
Oh yeah. And if the rumors are true, he's getting paid plenty enough to stay over here.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
The other pre-show match is the one that confused us, and I know a little bit about it because it involved little kids. Apparently, Big Justice and the Rizzler are little kids. I don't know if they're internet celebrities or if this was some sort of health-related thing or something. But a guy named Big Boom AJ, who wrestled with a broken foot, apparently defeated QT Marshall and the Ace of Spades Academy, and that probably was pretty much the highlight of it, outside of Big Justice delivering a spear that actually led to the victory.
It was a gimmick match.
It was.
I,
And
I,
like I said, I don't know the whole story behind it because they didn't say a word throughout the week about this. They just threw it on the pay-per-view. So I don't know.
yeah, I don't know if they were in those guys' hometown or what, but if you do have a gimmick match, you get QT Marshall and throw him in there. He can work with anybody.
Oh, yeah. Marshall's another guy that if they gave him a push, I'd be behind it.
Which he's back with AEW now. He's one of the head trainer, head writers. Like he's in charge of a lot of the stuff that goes on behind the
Hmm.
scenes. So this match was probably his idea, if you want to know the truth about it.
Probably. And he's also, him and Dustin Rhodes basically are the head trainers here locally for the Nightmare Academy that Cody co-owns.
Right.
And I have seen many of their students, and every one of them can work.
Yeah, that's they're it's a good school.
Maybe we'll make a field trip one day up there.
Maybe after football season.
Yep. Yeah, yeah. January and February are looking really nice about now.
Yeah, I have. I've done football for every weekend since August 10th, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, and you
As
still
much as
got
I
one.
love it, as much as I love it, I'm almost needing a break.
Yeah, because you got at least one more, if not two more games for it done.
More than likely, two more.
I would agree. Uh, shout out to the Red Devils.
Yeah, I feel like we're playing Manchester again for the state championship. Not overlooking Irwin. Irwin's solid,
Yeah,
but
but yeah,
but we're built different.
yep,
Just it is what it is.
yep. Now on to some other people that are built completely different. Private Party were able to retain their title over the Outrunners. The Kings of the Black Throne, which was Malachi Black and Brody King, and the Acclaimed. Here's the problem with that. Now that you had them a clean victory and a four-way over those, in my opinion, all three of those are no longer contenders.
Yep. So who's next?
You're kind of running
I
out of
feel
teams.
like I feel like FTR is going to come back and make a run as the top guys for another year or so before they hang it up for good.
And see, I'm not sold on Wheeler Yuta being a part of the Death Riders beyond a little bit longer from now. So you can't say that Cesaro and Yuta would come in and grab those titles
I don't know what's
or
going on with
whatever.
that bunch. That
Yeah,
I don't know if it's going to grow. I don't think it's going to shrink. You
no,
get rid of Yuta, it's going to shrink. I don't think that's going to happen. It's going, but I don't want it to do. You remember the NWO? How there was a new member every week. Next thing you know, there's 89 guys in the NWO. Like I don't want it to turn into that.
well, and then we had the LWO and we had the BWO and ECW and we had like five different spawn offs of it, and it just it's kind of where the Bullet Club got a couple years ago, where they did really good stuff in Japan, and a couple went here and a couple went there and continued it on, and then now there's still full blown like probably 45 active members, and it just makes no sense anymore.
Yeah, but all these were on one show. You're talking about
Yeah,
branching out in different
yeah,
promotions. I'm talking about this was one show, one organization, and they tried to have. Remember they tried to make the third second show Thunder,
yeah.
and they were going to split it off, and part of the NWO was going to be on that, and the other part was going to be on Nitro. That didn't
It just
work.
didn't work. No,
But I don't want the Death Riders to turn into that where we got
no.
too many members.
They I like I said, I could see Yuta getting replaced. I don't know who yet, but I just feel like he's like the weak one.
Yeah, but he's also the one that they can like tell him to go do whatever, and he'll go do it.
Yep, he's the peon,
Right. He's also the
and you
bait.
need yeah. Oh yeah, they dangle him out there, and somebody comes to save him, and then he flips on all of them.
Right.
Speaking of a lot of flipping, MJF was able to beat Roderick Strong by submission. I give Roddy all the credit in the world that, just like I told you, I think he was the backup replacement for Adam Cole, who once again was absent from another big show. I don't know if it's injury or what's going on with Adam Cole, but I feel like this should have either been the three-way or it should have been MJF versus Adam Cole.
If they dazzle me with some storyline out of this whole thing, I will forgive them. But for right now, this is the storyline that needs to die and go away. It should have never happened when Cole was injured a year ago. The whole devil kingdom thing should have ended
Yeah.
right then, or they should have had another leader.
Yeah.
You don't. We're going to leave Adam Cole as a leader, but we're going to put him on the shelf for a year. That makes no sense. So this
Yeah.
needs to go away unless they dazzle me with some kind of big story twist that I don't see coming somewhere down the road.
I think there will be some story twist coming, but it's not going to dazzle you.
Maybe they'll come out with something, and then the Hurt Syndicate will just come out and destroy all of them. And then send them all off TV for a while. That would be fine with me too.
Or in typical AEW fashion, Miro will come back for one night only and destroy everybody and then disappear again.
Yeah, I don't, he's still under contract. That's a weird situation right there.
I think he got his release.
I, I don't think so. If he did, it's conditional.
Yeah. Oh, he's not going to go work anywhere, I don't think. I think he's just done.
It's just a weird situation.
Really is. Speaking of a not so weird situation, Mercedes Monet beat Chris Statlander as we thought. I hate it for Statlander because we're both Statlander fans. The saving grace in this is that you can see AEW start to turn on Mercedes. They took Camille away from her because she was burying Camille every week. So they took her away from her. They had her get attacked this week, which is a whole different thing. But uh, anytime they take your backup, it's usually not because you're getting boosted.
Right. And then what was it? Wednesday night, Camille clotheslined her.
Yeah.
Or no, she just walked away from her, didn't she? She
She
quit.
walked away from her. She goes, "We're done."
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And
right.
then she got attacked in the back, and she had like a chair and some other stuff on top of her, and
Yeah,
and all.
I'm ready for Monet to go back to wherever she came from too.
Well, she came from Japan. I think that door's closed.
But you keep bringing in like you bring in her. We wonder why Anna Jay keeps getting buried because
Yeah.
Anna Jay's a fan. Fans like her,
Yeah.
and we're gonna bring in Mercedes Monet and pay her $5 million a year. And nobody likes her. Nobody.
Mm-mm.
And
No.
I read reports all the time about how nobody in the locker room likes her either.
No. Like she's on an island from everything I hear. It's like her backstage. It's like she's, somewhere up here in the arena, and everybody's everywhere else.
Right. Yeah, I've just seen her go somewhere.
Yeah, it's one of the few things I disagree with our mutual friend STG. Jay White gets the win over Hangman Adam Page again. So I believe Jay White is up 4-2 or something. It's something. He's actually has the advantage now, and it's mostly because
and
Jay's
three in
about
a
to get a
row.
little bit of a push.
Think so? Think it's gonna be main event pushed?
I think he's going to be pushed to the top level. I don't, because to me, there's three levels. There's the bottom level, there's the mid card, and then there's the upper card. But it has two tiers up there. There's a main event. Those are your top dogs that are always title guys, and then there's your guys underneath that are main event level, just not quite in a title picture.
I can see them pushing him to that maybe main event, but no title.
Yeah.
And the reason being to have the title, you really need to be good in the ring, charismatic, and good on the microphone. He's good in the ring and he's charismatic. He's not that great on the microphone.
Right. But I mean, he's he's in a way a Roddy Strong. The way we say it that way is Roderick can wrestle and he can do all kinds of stuff. It just he can't do all of it together.
Yeah, Roderick don't really have any charisma. He's good on the microphone, but he don't have any charisma.
Right.
He's got two of the three.
And that'll get you far. I mean, look how high they are.
Which
But
Moxley, somebody like Moxley and Swerve, they got all three.
oh yeah, yeah. Now, real quickly before I dive into the last 5 matches, um, I asked you last time, I believe, is Darby or is Orange Cassidy the Sting of this situation? I'm actually going to throw a third person in there. Is Adam Page actually the guy that you don't know what side he's on? He's kind of in the middle, off on an island all by himself. Is he more the Sting in this situation?
Mm, no, not really. I still feel like Darby's that guy. The way it ended at the pay per view was him
Yeah.
flipping out and destroying their truck, and um, so he's still gonna play into it somehow or another. I think Paige getting involved in the main event was like a one off deal. Setting up
Yeah.
something between him and Christian.
He's kind of more of a mercenary right now, and that's kind of what he was there.
Yeah. Yeah. Now Christian's another one that I think has all three.
Oh yeah.
And
At
I would like
like
to see him.
45 years old. He's
He's
something
probably older
43.
than that. No, he's older than
Might be.
me. I want to say he's
Maybe.
52, 53.
Is he?
I think so.
Huh. We'll have to look that up. But
Maybe they're
one,
maybe they're 49 because him and Edge are the same age.
yeah.
I don't know. You
Uh,
have to look it up.
one thing we are a big fan of right now is Kyle Fletcher, who may have had a
Yes.
little bit of help, but he was able to beat Will Ospreay. It saves Ospreay in doing that, but you said Kyle Fletcher and the Hurt Syndicate is your two favorite things right now, right?
Yes. The Hurt Syndicate and Kyle, whatever, anything Kyle Fletcher's got his hand in right now is my two favorite things to watch. And to be honest with you, on Wednesday nights, I usually fast forward through anything with John Moxley. It's
Yeah,
almost
because
like
it's pretty much the same thing right now.
it's almost like watching TNT back in 1996. Just it is, and
Yeah,
like there's nothing's new. They're gonna just come out like a pack of wolves and beat somebody down, and then jump over the rail and go get in their truck and take off. There's at some point like they're going to get somebody to stand up to it, and I don't know who that's going to be yet, but I'm bored with it right now.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like
Same
tell,
way.
tell better stories with it. But the Hurt Syndicate, everything they're doing is really good, and anything Kyle Fletcher's doing, it really anything Don Callis puts his hands on is really good.
Yeah, he doesn't get enough credit. I'm not the world's biggest fan of his, but I have all the respect in the world for everything he's done.
I've always said in the wrestling business, if the fans really, really hate somebody, they're really good at their job.
Hmm. And the only time I would argue that fact is the previously mentioned female wrestler.
Yes, but well, that's just like Don Callis is making you hate him.
Yeah,
Mercedes Monet just oozes uh, cockiness
yeah,
and like she's just so stuck up and conceited and thinks she's the greatest thing that's ever walked the planet, and she's not. And nobody likes that.
right. Now, something people do like is your new TNT champion, Daniel Garcia. He gets the submission win over Jack Perry. That was pretty much the last nail in the coffin, so to say, of the Young Bucks. They dropped their belts a little while back. Now Perry loses that one. Okada having a belt doesn't factor into what the Elite are doing right now, but
Where's he been?
the last cog that needed to drop, I guess, was Jack Perry dropping his belt.
Yeah, he's Okada's been non-existent. He's in the tournament, I guess, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in this tournament that this started. If he don't win the tournament, does he lose his belt?
That's what I heard.
Hmm.
That's part of why he's in it. He's trying to defend it.
So I bet you $1 he's in the final four.
As much as I would love to take your dollar, I'll have to find other ways to do it because I agree. They pretty much just painted him into that corner.
And why would you have this whole tournament just to have him retain? They don't. So I look for somebody else to win it.
Yeah, I do think somebody else is going to take it. Takeshita beat Ricochet to keep his international championship. This was a fantastic match. My only takeaway, like I told you earlier, was if Ricochet had been in the company 6 to 8 months instead of 6 weeks, maybe he's closer to winning it.
Right. Yeah. It was a fun match to watch. It was. I enjoyed it. Two totally different styles.
Yeah,
Ricochet's doing 640 splashes off the top rope, and Takeshi's just a mountain of a man that just hits you like a ton of bricks. But it was fun to watch, and I don't know where they go after that. Like I don't like there's that's the end of that story.
yeah.
They need to move on to something else for those two guys.
Well, we go from the end of that story to the beginning of just the beginning of another, as Bobby Lashley gets his win over Swerve Strickland by technical submission. I thought that was booked just absolutely as perfectly as could be. Swerve, I don't know if they're trying to recruit Swerve in or if they're just trying to punish him for saying no.
Well, I told you to tell this story right, you can't have Swerve beat the new guy that just busted on the scene that you paid $10 million a year to.
Yep,
And you can't have Swerve because he was just your face of the company for 8 months. You can't have him lose clean.
yep.
So when you can't have somebody lose clean and you can't have the other guy lose, this is the way you do it. You put him in a submission hold and make the referee stop it. So he never really gave up.
This was Stone Cold Bret Hart.
Yes, when he was in the sharpshooter bleeding,
Yep,
blood
yep.
pouring down his face, he never gave up, just passed
And he
out.
passed out. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, they'll come back somehow, but I want to see more build up to this match.
Yeah.
Now, what are you going to do with Lashley from here?
Right.
Because Lashley's the guy that could come out legitimately, could come out every Wednesday night and just waylay everybody on the roster.
He is one of the few guys, and you mentioned it earlier. He is one of the few guys that John Moxley stops when he walks in the room and he goes, "Hey, there's Bobby Lashley. Let me see what he's doing."
But I know you can't have, Vince McMahon always said that's why he never put the belt on Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Because if you do, who's going to win it from him? Nobody.
Yeah.
That's why you don't put. That's why, and that's why people like Braun Strowman don't get the belt.
Right.
That's why people like
Great
Wardlow don't get the
Khali, all
belt
those. Yeah. Any of those
because
super
once they
big
get
guys
it,
like that.
well, they get it, and then the perception from somebody because you want it to be as realistic as possible, right? And so you put the belt on somebody like that, and you're saying to yourself, "Well, who's taking the belt off that guy? Nobody."
Mm.
So I don't know what you do with Bobby Lashley from here. Um, at some point, you're gonna have to put the belt on him.
Yeah.
At some point,
I'm sure he was smart enough, or if MVP or whoever his agent really is, I'm sure it's in the contract that, hey, at some point, we need to see some gold coming this way.
and not just any guy. You don't put just any
Right.
belt on that guy. You put the big one on him.
Yep. I absolutely agree. Just about 2 minutes left. Moxley over Orange Cassidy. There was a lot of fluff in this match. There was a lot of action all over the place, but I didn't feel like it was the world's best match, and I really never felt like Cassidy was going to win.
No, he never was. Never had a shot at winning. There was a whole lot of interference from the back.
Yeah.
especially after the match. There was an attempt to cash in with Christian, and that got botched because
Jay White.
Hangman came down and
Yeah.
laid out Moxley, and then Christian was going to get in and cash in, and then Jay White come in and laid out Christian, and I don't know if they're building up to something there, but um, if you want to tell this story about John Moxley taking over AEW, he don't need the belt to do it.
No.
And I think it would be better storytelling if he didn't have the belt, because
Yep.
then they don't care if they get disqualified or not.
Right. And Moxley's actually one who doesn't care about belts and stuff anyway so much.
I don't know, that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree. But overall, felt like it was a good, solid show. I think they got one more for the end of the year. What, World's End probably or something like that?
World's End.
Yeah.
Yep.
But other than that, I thought it was a good show. There's a lot of stuff they can spend time explaining to us, and there's a lot of stuff that they should be able to build on going forward. So we'll just have to see kind of where they go from here.
Yeah, they just need to keep running a Hurt Syndicate and let them build momentum, maybe add another member and put the belt on Lashley, and then let Moxley and the Death Riders wreak havoc without the belt. That would be the best thing. In my opinion, that would be the best thing for business.
I absolutely agree. But we are to the end of our show, just like they were to the end of their show. So for my tag team partner, Clay Harden, who needs to get some sleep, I'm Jeremy, the Impact York. We will see you guys next time to talk about World's End. Until then, deuces, gooses, go watch wrestling.